So you're getting leads, but they're not turning into paying customers. Deals slip through the cracks, prospects ghost you, and it feels like nothing works. And it's just not frustrating. It's expensive. You already invested time, hard-earned marketing money, and energy into winning those leads, yet payoff never comes. Now in this video, I'll tell you exactly how to fix this. I'll explain you a few simple concepts that you can implement almost immediately. You don't need fancy tools or loads of money. I'll explain a concept that one of my mentors, my manager in the construction company when I worked as a sales rep, explained me years ago. Now, a quick note, this video is not for everyone. If you're running a retail shop or your e-commerce, you might still find useful tips, but what I'm sharing is designed for businesses with longer sales cycles like B2B companies, service providers, and anyone selling more complex products. If your sales involve quotes, negotiations, or multiple follow-ups, this video is for you. I'm Jeff Tiley, and I help small and mid-sized businesses build strong client relationships through smart digital tools and business practices. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, otherwise you may not see me ever again. So let's jump to the video. The first thing you need to do is start tracking your sales. Now, you might already have some tools like CRM or maybe just spreadsheets, but the truth is that tools don't nearly matter as much as how you use them. What matters is your process, and that starts with setting up clear sales stages. Sounds simple, right? But I've rarely seen companies actually do this correctly. So most of the time, businesses create sales stages based on what's happening inside their company, not what's happening with their customer. So you will see stages like preparing quote or quote in progress. That's not really a sales stage. It's just your admin work. A real sales stage should show that you are getting closer to this customer saying yes. Every stage should increase your chance of closing the deal. I love this example. Imagine proposing to someone on the very first date. Total nonsense, right? You need to build your relationship first. Same with sales. The process should feel like a first date, then a second date, then maybe you move in together, and so on. Each step should show the progress of the relationship with your customer, not just internal paperwork. So here is the difference. The wrong way. New, quote pending, preparing quote, quote sent, negotiation, closed won or lost. Now here is the right way. A customer focus stages, qualification, analysis, quote, feedback, negotiation, and closed won or lost. See the difference. The first list is about what your team is doing. The second one is about what the customer is experiencing, and that's what really matters. Now, if you're wondering how well your own process is working, you can start with our free 10-minute CRM audit. It's just a quick quiz about how you handle leads, sales, and customers, and as soon as you finish, you will get your results instantly. We'll look at how you bring in and nurture leads, how your pipeline is managed from the first contact to closing, what happens after the sale with a customer service, whether your tech and data are actually giving you clarity, and finally, the bigger picture around your overall strategy and culture. At the end, you will instantly see a personalized report that shows where things are breaking down and what to fix first. No waiting, no follow-ups, you get the answers right away. We've put a lot of effort into making it short, yet really illustrative. So go ahead, click the link in the description below, and let's move back to the video. So, sales stages. Another reason why sales stages work is clarity of the next step. If you are in the beginning of the relationship with client, it would not be wise to send the quote. You first should discover what they actually need, why they need, what are they considering as alternative to your product or service, and so on. So here's the rule. When you set up your sales stages, make them super specific. If a deal is in a stage, it should be because something very clear happened with the customer. And the golden rule is, with each stage, the probability of closing the deal should go up. If you don't set this up properly, you will never be able to track or predict your sales in a reliable way, which in turn will result in losing a deal. And you will never know why, which brings me to my second very important point. Have you ever heard this eternal problem? Sales reps are complaining that leads are shit, while marketing people say that sales guys just don't know how to sell. To avoid this, there is a hack. Establish so-called qualification. Now, why this is important? Imagine yourself working with garbage leads daily. What would happen naturally? You would simply lose your motivation for making those calls, and as a result, you will make less of them. Same happens with your sales team. If you throw junk leads on them, they will naturally complain and lose interest. You could avoid this by setting up qualification. By the way, nowadays, it could nicely be automated in many cases, but generally speaking, there should be someone or something that gatekeeps all incoming traffic. This will create two distinct sales processes, a qualification process and a sales process. Now, before a prospect becomes a prospect, what do? You ask questions. This whole process is called lead management. And to make this work, you have to make a decision. What do you call a lead and what do you call an opportunity? Normally, leads are contacts of clients who have not yet converted into opportunities. They haven't yet passed through the qualification process. So essentially, these are your prospective clients, but you're just not yet sure if they match criteria to actually be handed over to a sales team. Now, another term is opportunities. Opportunities are your prospective deals, potential business you may close where you already know quite a lot about the deal itself. Now that you know that a sales process is important and that you have two of them, one for leads, one for opportunities, you will have to merge those two concepts and you will create a really nice sales funnel. But we are not there yet. Once you've established the process of qualification, you stop dumping junk leads on your sales team. It's actually time to start tracking. And there are only 4 things you need to know about that to start tracking your every deal. The first thing to track is the prospective amount of the opportunity. As simple as it sounds, it's often unclear what the prospective amount will be. I always advise my clients to implement some sort of mechanism for guesstimating that amount. An experienced sales rep can actually do this quite precisely. Once you've created a quote or learned more about customers' needs, you can always update the amount in the opportunity. Some CRMs even allow you to track those changes and see how accurate your estimates are over time, but that's not the point right now. In any case, you must start with an amount. Think about how you could estimate the opportunity's value from the stage 1 or 2. You will need it later. Next, you need the closing date of your opportunity. This is another controversial and often disputed piece of information I ask clients to provide. You might ask, how on earth do we know when the client will make up their mind? And my answer is, ask them. Introduce a new step in your process by asking the customer a simple question. When do you plan to make a decision? The close date has far more implications for sales than you might think. You can tie your offers to the customer's deadlines, stay on top of more deals, and I will explain that in a moment, and improve your forecasting. A closing date also helps you manage your time more effectively. It enables you to prioritize opportunities that need immediate attention and set aside those that don't require your focus for the next few weeks or months. This is a tool for prioritizing your work and can allow you to handle far more deals. You will focus on the most critical opportunities and put less emphasis on those that aren't as urgent. Next, you need to establish a probability estimate. This is the hardest part, and I usually suggest starting with arbitrary incrementally increasing numbers, and let me explain how that works. So in theory, probability is your estimate on how likely a deal is to close as one. It's used in forecasting by multiplying the opportunity amount by probability. While you can rely on a single prediction, you can pull your deals and compare their total amounts, each multiplied by its probability. This will give you a better sense of where your sales are trending. It basically works on a rule of big numbers. The more deals you have, the more accurate the forecast is. Now, Salesforce claims sales forecasts are within 10% accuracy range 50% of the time. Essentially, they are accurate half the time. I've seen much higher numbers with clients who are disciplined and follow certain guidelines. Now, finally, you need to track the next step with the client. This should be a one-sentence, clear instruction on what to do next. This is likely the single action that could multiply your sales. You would be surprised how a well-structured, thought-out next step can improve both the speed and quality of your sales process. Now that you're tracking amount, close date, probability, and next step, it's time for the final step, creating an opportunity report. This report should be organized by sales rep. I've created a sample opportunity report in Google Sheets, so feel free to use it. I've generated random sales data using ChatGPT to help with examples, but this is essentially how your basic sales report should look like. Once you've created a report like this, you will immediately gain visibility into your pipeline. Even more importantly, you will be able to act on that information. For example, use probability to adjust opportunity amounts and check if your sales plans are being met. Be pragmatic and realistic. Which brings me to the topic everyone loves, tools. I always say, focus on the outcome, not the tools. Some of the best sales managers I've met run their entire pipeline out of Excel. Nothing fancy, just well-structured sheets. And you know what? It works because they know exactly what they are tracking and why. On the flip side, I've seen companies spend millions on big shiny CRMs and still have zero idea what's happening with their sales. Deals get lost, reports don't make sense, and managers can't see the full picture. The truth is, the tools itself won't save you. A CRM or spreadsheet is just a container. What matters is the process, the way you define your sales stages, the data you capture, and the discipline to keep it updated. Do that right, and even a simple tool becomes powerful. Do it wrong, and the most expensive software in the world won't help you. Now, the first tool that can really help you is a CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management. Basically, it's a software where you track and manage all your leads and sales opportunities. Over time, CRMs have grown into much more. For many companies, they're not just a sales tool anymore. They are the main system the whole business runs on. But let's keep it simple for now. Remember the sample report I showed you? If you build that inside a CRM, it becomes much more powerful. For example, you can open a customer account and instantly see all their deals, whether lost or won or still in progress. Now, people often ask me which CRM to choose. Well, there is no one-size-fits-all answer, and honestly, most modern CRMs can do the job. Though, if you need a little help with the right one, my company website in the description below. Next on my list, spreadsheets. As I mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily need a CRM to track your sales. One of the beauties of small businesses is their agility. You can try new approaches, discard what doesn't work, and experiment with other methods without risk of losing political points, like in larger organizations. You can start with Excel, analyze what works and what doesn't, and then iterate. This flexibility is one of the key strengths that make small companies such beloved suppliers. So use the sample report I've provided as your starting point. But remember, before implementing complex solutions, start small. Begin with the report I've shared, and once you can reliably use it, only then should you move to the next step and gradually make it more and more complex. Which brings me to another interesting discussion. Few other tools that could help you, just to give you a glance of how the future might look like. And of course, I couldn't miss the chance to mention the buzzword AI. For a small company, this actually can be a real competitive advantage. While big corporations are stuck with slow approvals and endless policies, you can already start using AI to qualify leads, filter out the bad ones, and make sure your sales team only talks to the right opportunities. Now think about it. Instead of your sales reps wasting hours calling leads that will never buy, an AI tool can do the first layer of filtering for you. It can ask basic questions, check if the company matches your ideal customer profile, and only pass the good leads to your team. Big corporations are slow with this stuff. They have endless policies, approvals, and security reviews that hold them back. I've seen companies ban tools like ChatGPT without even realizing it was already in use by half of their staff. But as a smaller business, you are agile. You can test, adapt, and start getting value immediately. And this is where AI really shines. So instead of filling your pipeline with junk, AI can help make sure your sales teams only get the right opportunities, the ones that actually are worth their time. Now, another big win for small businesses is VoIP integration. Basically running your phone system through the internet instead of old landlines or cell phones. I actually have a separate video where I explain this in detail, so check that out if you want to, see the full context. Here's the short version. Once your VoIP is connected to your CRM, every call gets logged automatically. Your team can work from anywhere, home, office, or on the road, and nothing slips through the crack. And if you combine this with AI, it gets even better. AI can listen to calls, check quality, pull out key details from conversations, and drop that straight into your CRM system. So your sales reps focus on selling while you get cleaner data, better insights, and a clear view of how calls are really going. And lastly, let's talk about quoting. Most small businesses still create quotes manually, copying numbers into Word or Excel, then sending PDFs back and forth. It's slow, it's error-prone, and it gives you zero data in your systems. But if you automate your quoting process and keep your products inside the system, everything changes. You can generate quotes in seconds, keep pricing consistent, and track exactly what products or services are selling best. That information goes straight into your CRM, so instead of guessing, you can actually make decisions based on real sales data, like which products to push, where margins are slipping, or what to bundle together. There is a world of different tools you can use, but essentially they all don't matter if you don't have a proper sales process. Once you have it in place, you can do wonders and you will have enough money to develop it even further. Let me know in the comments below, do you have a well-established sales process? Do you even use CRM system? And if you do, how you do that? How do you solve a problem of leads not converting to cash? On that note, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, as YouTube algorithm loves when you interact with the video and helps spread the word. Wish you better conversion rates. On that note, see you next time. Peace.